Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Before we start, make sure you like and subscribe. It helps me a lot on the YouTube algorithm. In today's video, I finally got more pond plants. I'll show you guys in a minute what's inside the bucket and how I'll be planting them in their own little tubs and watching them grow and propagate. Like these ones, I have a few different types of pond plants, some being blue rush and corkscrew rush, others being African umbrella palms right here. They'll be set up in the same manner, being planted in pots and then into tubs filled with water. I'll be taking out the dirt out of this one and use it for something else. Let's get a little bit deeper into what I have actually. I have both blue and corkscrew rush, both great pond plants. You can find these guys in streams and lakes even. Blue rush, having it in its name, it does get bluer when it gets older. And corkscrew rush, having these crazy little curls and twists in its grass-like appendages. And umbrella palm. This plant is very desirable in the pond hobby. This plant gets really big, but it also has these long roots, so it's best to have it in a little pot and container inside your pond. Even made some snips and cuts off the blue and corkscrew rush, seeing if those turn out really well. And I'll show you how you guys can do that too. Now that I have my new pond plants in order, let's take a closer look on what I have. Here I have what appeared to be reed or some type of Marshall plant or weed. It was very soft to the touch, but I later found out it was actually soft rush, just like hard rush, but instead of having those long tube-like grass, it's pretty much just grass on top. Really soft, and I would love to plant this in the background or even the front of any umbrella palm or even other types of cattails. Next, we have California hard rush. Unlike its soft rush cousin, its grass-like appendages are quite stiff and spiky on top. Very beautiful. It contrasts against any pond. I love it personally. And propagates through a rhizome on the very bottom, just like any other pond plants. Easy to propagate. Now, time for the crown jewel, this one right here, Broadleaf Cattail. Very beautiful and can get very big, 3 to 6 feet depending. And interesting about these guys, they grow by propagating through the roots just like that, making little copies of themselves and sending out runners. They like to be anchored down in clay and mud and whatnot like that. And you'll find them on the banks of streams. Very beautiful. Also, what's interesting about cattails, when they start forming their own little cattail, it starts out black, then it'll start turning really brown, then to its signature golden brown with seeds. Now it's time to propagate. What you want to do is carefully grab your plant and split open the roots and little sprouts, especially if it's rush. It will have a lot of little sprouts that make up the entire plant. All the runners are underneath, but you got to be careful. If you don't, you may risk harming the plant and even the roots underneath, which you want. So it does take a little bit of time. I find it easy if you're able to wash the dirt and all the debris that's holding all the roots together and have a pair of scissors nearby. That's so you could cut it off the section you want. After thoroughly rinsing, you will be left with all this. All the roots and everything that's been holding this plant together. These guys do grow a lot of roots and they do propagate really in abundance. So if you have one of these left over, don't be afraid to break them up and propagate them into little sections. Even this one over here, this one has a bunch of cattails just growing around it. This one's going to take a long time to sort out. After that, it will be so much easier to take apart the roots and everything else. Just be careful not damaging the plant so much. You are just getting little mini versions of it and just propagating. After you're done separating all of them, make sure you give your beloved pet all the pets in the world. Isn't that right, Brownie? I won't be showing you guys the planting process since it will take way too long, but I will show you guys the fertilizer I use. I even use this Box Forms Ocean Forest in my tanks. It's really good. There, all done. That took a lot more effort than it should have, but I'm glad these guys are going to flourish and grow in their own little pots and tubs. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys the next time.